Mic check 1, 2. Okay, can y'all hear me out there? All praises to the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So there is so much on this subject, and we will take it a step at a time. For the last year, we have collectively done our due diligence, and we have compared the forged writings of the New Testament to the Tanakh. Okay? And I'm not sure how long this has been on live. However, do let me know if the sound cuts out or anything of the such. All right. So I won't be on here long. Probably do about 30 minutes. This is a very important topic, a very important subject, as Christianity is the world's biggest religion. Christianity was spread by murder, lies, and violence. It is not a religion of peace. It is a religion of mind control. It is a religion of oppression and a religion of deception. So this is denouncing ChristInsanity, and the objective and the intention is not to attack the people that are honestly seeking to do what is right. The intention is to expose the lie. And wanting to do right is one thing, but doing right is another. So with that being said, the only way to do right is to know what the truth is. Because just wanting to do the right thing, but doing it with falsehood, it would never get accomplished. The right thing would never get accomplished through a lie. And we're in this year that they say is 2022, and it's time. And I'm telling Pharaoh to let my people go. Let my people go from all of these delusions, all of these deceptions. Okay, so I'm going to bring some things on the screen tonight, and we're going to take it line by line, okay? So as you all know, I have done many videos on this subject already, and I will continue to do these videos and share different reels and different stories and different memes and everything until my last breath. Until my last breath, I will witness that the Creator alone is the Most High, and beside Him there is no one. And let me tell you something as we begin here, and I think this is very important for denouncing ChristInsanity. When we talk about the spirit of deception that this religion has been spread in, and we think about the spirit of hatred that people who follow the Christ doctrine carry. From my own personal experiences, and I'm sure there are others who can agree, that when it comes to the level of scoffing that Christians do, it is like no other religion. I mean, even with the religions of the East, you know, they're not going around trying to convert you to reading the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, are some people, they are sharing, you know, those beliefs in those strange gods. However, it is not pushed upon people like Christ insanity. So I'm illustrating this picture for you to recognize that the same spirit that Christians carry today is the same spirit that their church fathers carried, the God spell delusion, centuries and centuries, and for such a long time. You have to see how all these things are connected, how all these deceptions are connected, because it is very imperative. You have to know how your enemy moves in order to defeat your enemy. Okay? And Christianity, which is a tool of the Roman Catholic system of deceit and oppression, is the enemy, particularly of my people, of black and brown brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners, and to all people that seek to know the only true Creator, the Almighty. So once again, this is not a personal attack to people who believe in the sun God myth. This is first and foremost my duty to the Creator, who is good to me every day of my life, who has been good to me, who is the greatest, who has protected and who has provided for me my entire life. In Christianity, they tell you, they tell you that you had to go through a son to get to who they say the Father is. And I'm here to let you know, before I ever believed in ChristInsanity, and I no longer do believe in it. However, the point is, before I ever believed in a ChristInsanity, before I ever opened the Bible, before I ever considered that somebody could die for my sins, which they can't, before any of that, the Creator of the heavens and the earth has been good to me. During my time of questioning the sun God myth delusion, the Creator has been good to me. And every day of my life, the Almighty is good for me. Many people don't know the courage that it takes for you to question a lie that not only has been told for such a long time, but a lie that is literally interwoven, embedded into the trauma that we, as so-called black people, face each and every day. So it takes a lot of courage to question. And then it takes even more courage to denounce it. I've heard all the you going to hells and you ain't this and you are antichrist and you are this. and people leave some of the most hateful comments. And that's why I started with that, to illustrate this, to let you know, to the people that's on the fence and you may be worried. Let me tell you, they can only say so much. And one thing that no one can ever take from me is that the Almighty is good to me every day of my life, every single day. And like the psalmist records, that daily he loads me with benefits. So to the people who have denounced ChristInsanity, due to the complete clarity and understanding that has come, that has shown that ChristInsanity is simply a misappropriation of prophecy, and as we'll read more tonight, that all that they did was they took prophecy from the Tanakh, which most people call the Old Testament, and they wrote a false story about a false savior, and they used these old passages and misappropriated them to create the belief that the sun god was who these passages was talking about. Okay? And so to those people who clearly see that, more power to you, more strength. And so in the wisdom of the Creator, I've been very strategic about how to approach this matter. Even through my own personal anger and disappointment, I've been very strategic, and I will remain strategic about this. So once again, to the people that have already denounced ChristInsanity, more power to you. And to the people who are on the fence, it's no reason to be on the fence. Once you see that Isaiah 7:14 is not about Christ, when you see that Isaiah 53 is not about Christ, and when you see that Christ is not the prophet like unto Moses, and when brothers like myself and other brothers and other sisters are clearly showing you these things, clearly showing you that it didn't mean virgin there in that reference, clearly showing you that no one ever even referred to Christ in the forged New Testament as Emmanuel. When we are clearly showing you, and we're doing it with kindness, we're not doing it in saying that you're an idol worshiper. We're not doing it in belittling you. We're not doing it in sitting in the seat of a scoffer. But what these Christians do is they belittle. They leave comments and tell you that you're an idiot. They leave comments and tell you that you're stupid. They try to fearmonger and tell you that you're going to hell. But I want to tell you today, do not be afraid to denounce Christ. Because one thing is for sure, and two things is for certain. That Christ is a God that cannot save. And another thing is for certain, that all the gods of the nations are idols. And that is where I will start. That is where I will start. So this is not for play. This is not for fun. This is for real. And the Creator is for real. And the Creator redeeming his people is for real. And the fact that JC, the sun god idol myth, was nowhere to be found, when my people, as my people, suffered, as my people were beat and raped and robbed and pillaged. JC was nowhere to be found as my people suffered as a consequence of their disobedience to the Creator. The Son God was nowhere to be found. And in 2022, which we know is obviously not the real year, and where we know that the Gregorian calendar is obviously not the real calendar. And even in 2022, as my brothers and as my sisters who refer to themselves as Hebrew Israelites or Yahuda or all these other names in Yasharah, where even my people who have painted the sun god black and who have began to call the sun god by Hebrew names, even for those people, the sun god has still not shown up. So I am very much sane and very much full of peace and joy as I denounce ChristInsanity. Recognizing that not only is the sun god a god that cannot save, Isaiah 45 and 20, but that it is a complete myth and deception. All praises to the Creator. So let's put this first one on the screen. I'm not going to be long, and we'll take this a little bit at a time. I'm not concerned with views. I'm not concerned with any of those things. I am doing my service unto the Creator, and my witness is that He alone is the Most High, and beside Him there is no Savior. Hear, O Yisrael, all Most High, the only Most High. He is one. For those new to the channel, I am your brother Prince David, and this is Rising Greatness. You are greatness. You are fashioned in greatness, you are formed in greatness, and you are purposed to do great things. You are the apple of the Almighty's eye, and there is no people like you in all of the earth. So now it's high time to realize the deceit and the deceptions and the delusions that have kept us as a people separated from our power. Our power is one and not two and not three. And as we return to our Most High through seeking the ancient path, it is a guarantee that we find rest for our souls, and not only find rest for our souls, but that we as a people, everywhere that we as a people that we've been put to shame, that we as a people will be redeemed in the face of every single nation that has been confederate against us. And they will have to say that you are the Creator's people. Let's go to Psalms 96, 4 through 5. All of those nations that have called us niggas and no good and slaves and these things like that will have to say, these are the Creator's people. And that's what I'm here for. Let's go here. Obviously, we know the name of the Most High is not Lord. So when you see that on the screen, we already know what time it is. All praises to the Most High. All right. For the Most High is great, and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Most High made the heavens. All by himself. All by himself, not with a sun god, not with anyone's help. So when you look at the religions of today, let's get this on the screen as a visual. Let's get this as a visual on let's get this as a visual. So these are the religions of the world. Now check this out. What's those that you see here? Buddhism, ChristInsanity, Hinduism, Indigenous, Islam, Judaism, non-religious, other. So what did it just say? What did we just read? For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Almighty made the heavens. Okay? So we already know this answer. So we already know this answer. Give me a second. So who is the God of Christianity? We just read that all the gods of the nations are idols, and I showed you very clearly the world's religions. Now let's pull this up on the screen. Christians follow the moral teachings of J.C. While there has been theological debate over the nature of the sun god, Trinitarian Christians believe that J.C. is the Logos, God incarnate, God the Son, and true God and true man, both fully divine and fully human. And so what do we just read here? Let's take that back. Let's go back. For all the gods of the nations are idols. This is very simple. It's very simple and straight to the point. So in denouncing ChristInsanity, it is recognizing that the God of Christianity, as well as the God of all of these places, are idols. Let's get that up on the screen so you can see it. Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, indigenous, Islam, Judaism, non-religious, other. Okay, now that we have that clear understanding, we're going to continue. We're going to continue. So I spent a lot of different time answering the simple questions in regards to different things like the prophet like unto Moses being Joshua and all these different things like that. Tonight, I'm not going to be particularly reading any of those things. I'm just going to read a couple passages from some books, and I will be back another time. So once again, it takes courage to denounce a delusion that was beat into my ancestors, that was raped into my ancestors, and I give thanks to the Creator for the strength and the courage to do this. A lot of people, a lot of Christians, whether they are Hebrew, Israelite Christians, whoever they are, have spoken much evil. And blessed be the name of the Creator. As King David said, the Most High is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I be afraid? Okay, so I'm continuing to tell you this for a reason, that you better not be afraid. You better not be afraid to denounce anything Christ, any deception or delusion, once the Creator in His compassion and in His goodness shows you these things. I don't care who is talking about what. The Most High is my light and salvation. I do not fear. The Most High is the strength of my life. I am not afraid. And so as I was telling you all in previous videos, how ChristInsanity was spread, it was particularly spread to the poor, okay, people who were illiterate and could not read. They did not fathom that the day would come to where you could read and question these things. That is why when you go into the forged New Testament writings, all of these passages about their salvation being near and all of these different things like that, I don't even think they expected this to last this long. However, once you control people's mind, then really it's nothing else to do, right? So Christianity is mind control. And once again, they tell you, if you don't got this, you don't got the Father. That's a lie. As I told you, that the Creator has been great to me every day of my life, before I ever even consciously even remember praying, okay? And then they tell you, you going to go to hell and all these different things like that. All of these things, this is mind control, okay? So now we in the age, in a time where you can actually read. And the Creator is good that He gave us courage through seeing, it's through seeing the dysfunction. It's through seeing the lies. It's through seeing the foolery that's going on. It's through these experiences that we've had at the church, the things that we know the pastors are doing, the things that we know they're robbing our people, When I lived in LA, there was a church and a liquor store and a weed shop on almost every other corner. So if they don't get you with Christ, they gonna get you with weed and the fake weed. And if they don't get you with that, they gonna get you with liquor. And if they don't get you with that, they gonna get you with some alternative lifestyle. And for some, they got them with all of it. And for some of us, we were once caught up in all of it. Going from the church to the liquor store, to the club, back to the church, and back to the liquor store, and back over and over again. Trying to cope with the trauma that we've suffered as a people. And in all this coping, the Son God Christ has done nothing. Because Christ is a God that cannot save. So if you are curious of my take on denouncing ChristInsanity, purely through, using the Tanakh, which many call the Old Testament, using that against the forged New Testament, Flu Testament as I call it, then you can watch the videos that I've done on the subject, okay? I have those on my YouTube channel, okay? And what in the world is this? Give me a second. Oh. Have those on my YouTube channel. Live, let me see. So you can see those here. And ultimately, you have to read for yourself. So you see all these here. I think it's here that I started with all you'll get and get an understanding. That was a year ago. Then be encouraged and exalt his name. The true price of freedom. Right, the Torah, facts over feelings. So it's really like the facts over feelings, but it's really all the way from this video here. Get wisdom and get understanding. Okay? And then the Christ deception, X, Y, and Z. Okay? So that's if you want to know from a biblical perspective. I've been talking about this. So the amount of ignorance is really astronomical. The amount of ignorance that people leave comments as if I'm just on here talking, as if I have not read anything. And it just shows that arrogant spirit of Christians. Christians believe that they know everything. You can't tell them nothing. You can't ask them nothing. They know everything. They swear they got all the answers. But none of these people can heal the sick or raise the dead. And in this false book that they were told that they're supposed to do greater works than Christ, they can't even do that. So that's the first, not even the first, this is constant, this is just a continuation. That's another thing about ChristInsanity, right? Is that these people bang on you all day and tell you go to hell if you don't believe this, and tell you you're just a sinner and you're no good and you're filthy and all of these different things, but ain't none of them out there healing the sick. When COVID happened, the churches was closed. But now COVID is whatever, right? And the churches is back open, but guess what? It's open when the church is closed. It's the hospital. Guess what's open 24/7 when the church is closed? It's the hospital. Guess what? When all the homeless people are out sleeping in front of the church when it's closed, guess what's open? The streets. So with all the Christian energy that's given to telling people that they're going to hell, which is a lie, and all the things that they say, where is the energy for healing people? Where is the energy for even the people that are sick in the church? It's not there because Christians cannot heal the sick, because it is a lie. It is false. And I don't want to hear about these stories about people who got healed over here and on the side and on the left. Well, why aren't those people who claim to be healed in that, why aren't they going to hospitals and healing people? Because it is a lie. And they pray to a God that cannot save. So it's so many layers and levels to the arrogance of Christianity. And I point this out for you to recognize the spirit that Christianity was spread in. The gospel is a spell, the God spell. And the early church fathers of this religion were willing to lie, they were willing to argue, they were willing to debate, and they were willing to kill for this belief to reign in the minds and in the hearts and in the lives of their proselytes. So this is what you have to understand, the grotesque nature of this, the grotesque essence rather of this entire belief. So let me see, give me a second. That's right, if they can't scare you with hell, they keep you complacent with the rapture lie. That's right. So where we're going tonight, we're going to read a couple interesting things here. Give me a second. Okay, can y'all hear me now? Yes, this is not popular, and the truth is not popular, and I'm not here to be liked by people. What you must make sure is that you're loved by the Creator, okay? A wise man loves correction. And so with that being said, I have inclined my heart to wisdom and understanding, not to trying to prove a point or trying to be right. The Most High will give us the desires of our heart. And even through the valleys of the shadows of death, there are few of us who have actually desired the truth. And not to obtain truth and to treat others as if they are less than us, but to obtain truth in order to live it and to express it and to honor it and to share it with those who are ignorant of it. So that is completely different. It is not to impress others with our words and with the way we can explain things or with our perception of these things. It is to live a life that is pleasing to the Most High, to the Creator, and to do what is right. Because like it says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. But the wicked are cut off. Okay? So that is the difference here. So of course they're going to push these false religions in your face, because for first and foremost, they don't want the children of Israel, to wake up. Because when the children of the Almighty wake up, then their system will fail to exist, because we will no longer participate in it. Okay? And not only do they not want us to wake up, they don't want to give up what is ours. Because once we take back what is ours and the double for our trouble, not only will they be left with nothing, their very existence will be nothing. So this is a very serious thing, and I've said this twice tonight, and I'm going to say it again. The Creator is good to me every day of my life. No matter if I never do another YouTube, no matter if I never get another like or comment or subscribe, and no matter if anybody ever has anything good to say about me, the Most High is good. And my cup runs over. And He is my strength, which is why I don't fear. So don't you be afraid of these words. Like I said, if I could show y'all all these comments, and some of them I screenshot and I saved it for another video, and just to show you how evil, how rude, how ignorant, how antagonizing Christians are. And what I want to tell you is that is the spirit that this religion was spread in. It is the same spirit that they operate in today, whether it be Jehovah's Witness trying to tell you something, whether it be these other religious cults trying to tell you something. Christianity is evil, and I am not going to keep silent, because I have seen the atrocities that people commit who believe in this nonsense. So I don't have any fear, and I give all praises to the Creator. And I do this through the power of the Creator and in remembrance of my ancestors. And I say my because it's personal. Because I come from a bloodline of people who fought against Jim Crow, and who fought against the status quo, and who fought against the depression and the oppressive people, the heathens. I come from a bloodline of people who stood up against it, when they said whites only. And my uncles and my grandfather, they went in there. They didn't bow to the heathen. They didn't bow to what the heathen told them. So I come from a bloodline of warriors, because revolutionaries are not created. They are born. You can't make yourself a revolutionary. Somebody can't make you a revolutionary. It's a bloodline thing. So I do this personally for my ancestors that were lost in translation, that for my ancestors that was calling on the name of JC when they was getting they behinds whipped, for my ancestors that was believing in this nonsense and was getting raped and beat, calling on this sun god, believing in these false forged letters, believing in somebody was going to come and save them one day, believing that after life, finally, one day they will find rest for their soul, believing in these things. For my ancestors who fought against believing in this, to my ancestors that did not surrender, to my ancestors that rebelled against this delusion, I do this for my ancestors. And like I said, it's personal. Just like the last Thanksgiving that passed, and people like, oh, I'm going to get me a plate, and I'm going to get me a, and it's funny to them. But when you recognize that, nah, this is my ancestors that was slaughtered. So I don't want none of your sweet potatoes. I don't want none of your yams, mac and cheese. I don't want none of your dressing. I don't want none of that. Because if you was a real one, you couldn't even celebrate on that day. Because not only is it a day symbolic of Roman imperialism, it is completely against what is righteous and truth. So while people find excuses to remain in the delusion, as for me and my house, we are going to do what the Most High has purposed us to do. So let's go in here once again tonight. I have spent much time going through different biblical references and things like that. I will continue to do those videos. And another video coming soon about the historical receipts that show that we were not a part of ChristInsanity, how it was forced upon us, and how we rejected it, and how we only accepted it in hopes to be liberated from the chattel slavery that we were prophesied to go into. Tonight specifically, I'll be reading a book. Okay? And it is not that everything in this book that I agree with. It is, though, the point that is being made in these particular things that I will read that are undeniable. Okay, so give me a second. If I get any issues with my audio or anything, please let me know. Computer is going a bit slow. Is my sound coming clear? Is my sound coming clear? Let me know. Somebody let me know if my sound is still coming clear. With all praises to the Most High or something. It's not coming? Mic check 1 2 1 2. I'm good. Okay. Okay, so this book we'll be reading here. If you're interested in this, I will share with those in the community. All right, I'll share the link. But for now, we're just going to read a couple things. All right. This is called The Christ, a critical review and analysis of the evidence of his existence. John E. Remsburg, okay? I'm just going to read the beginning. Now, like I told y'all before, it's a lot of stuff I can bring out on this matter outside of using the Tanakh to disprove the Christ Son God myth story. This is something outside of that. And to put it in context, what you must realize is that the wealthy people who lived in the time that this lie was being spread, they knew that this was a lie. They knew that this was a lie. This is a religion used to oppress the poor and the needy. The majority of people who are Christians are poor. We know this to be true. So what I'm telling you is put yourself, use your mind and recognize how this could be, to where you have all these illiterate poor people and you forcing them to believe in this, that they are innately sinners and that they need someone to save them from their imperfection. And that if they didn't accept this as their God, as their Savior, then they will be doomed to eternity in hell. Really see this. These people was not able to read the Tanakh. They were not able to read the prophets themselves. They were not able to see what this was all about. This was completely forced onto the poor and the illiterate. Okay, so now that we got a little more context in that, let us read. Let me get my highlighter. All right. I'm going to it says, well, let's skip. I'm going to just read it from the beginning. It says, we must get rid of that Christ. We must get rid of that Christ. So spake one of the wisest, one of the most lovable of men, Ralph Waldo Emerson. If I had my way, said Thomas Carlyle, the world would hear a pretty stern command: exit Christ. Since Emerson and Carlyle spoke, a revolution has taken place in the thoughts of men. The more enlightened of them are now rid of Christ. From their minds he has made his exit. To quote the words of Professor Goldwin Smith, okay, we're not going to say that, but it says, the supernatural Christ of the New Testament, the God of Orthodox Christianity, put this highlighter on, is dead. But Priestcraft lives and conjures up the ghost of this dead God to frighten and enslave the masses of mankind. So this is what I was telling y'all before, that this is a spell. This is a spell. A story about a dead man that supposedly resurrected to save people from their sins, but people have been dying in their sins before that and ever since. This is insanity, and which is why I call it ChristInsanity. So once again, conjures up, but priestcraft lives and conjures up the ghost of this dead God to frighten and enslave the masses. Now let's read this. The name of Christ has caused more persecutions, wars, and miseries than any other name has caused. See, this is the thing that Christians don't want to talk about. Christians don't want to talk about the people that were raped in the name of JC. The people that were beat. Not the people, my people. They don't want to talk about my ancestors that was raped, robbed, beat, lied to, molested, murdered, hung on trees, robbed again, more raped, more pillaging, more bloodshed, more violence. The name of Christ has caused more persecution, wars, and miseries than any other name has caused. The darkest wrongs are still inspired by it. So that's what I was telling y'all, is recognizing that this same spirit, it is still here in these Christians today. The most arrogant, the most hateful people that I've ever known. And now, obviously, that doesn't mean I've not met Christians who've shown some type of kindness or some type of goodness. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying ultimately, whether it be Muslims that I know, or whether it be people that's into spiritualities that I know, or whether it be other religions that I know, Christians are the most hateful. In fact, I've never even received the hate that I've received from Christians, the name calling, the scoffing. I've never received it from Muslims. I've never received it. Well, yeah, I have from Muslims, excuse me, I take that back. But it wasn't a lot of situations with Muslims. But other religions, no, never experienced that, right? So when we talk about the blood that has been shed in the name of Christ, that is unquestionable. And there's nothing else compares to that, okay? Give me a second. Okay, let's keep going. Two notable works controverting the divinity of Christ appeared in the last century. Strauss, in his work, one of the masterpieces of free thought literature, endeavors to prove and proves to the satisfaction of the majority of his readers that JC is a historical myth. This work possesses permanent value, but it was written for the scholar and that for the general reader. Okay. Let me say again. That's right. We're not doing none of this insanity. And that's a whole nother situation with these holidays. Okay, give me a second though. Okay, so let's keep going. Just pointing out some things, okay? So we see here it says the following is a list of writers who lived and wrote during the time or within the century after the time that Christ is said to have lived and performed his wonderful work. So you see all these here, you can screenshot it, okay, and check these things out. Okay, so one of the most popular we know is Josephus, right? A lot of people have heard about Josephus. Okay. And let me point something out real quick that I think is hilarious, but not in a good way. I think it's hilarious in a terrible way. Is that and I'm showing y'all like some nonsensical ways that you can just expose the nonsense that's in this book. Let's pull up John 21 and 25. Now look what this says in John 21 and 25. John 21 and 25 says, the Son God did many other things as well. If every one of them were written down, I suppose that even the whole world would not have room for the books that will be written. So here in this false book, they're supposing that the Son God did so many things that if you were to write them down, then there wouldn't be enough room for the books that could be written. But let's go back to our other screen. These are all the people that was alive, okay, during this time. So once again, we see Josephus is the most popular that many people know, Josephus. Okay. Put this a little smaller. Josephus. Alright. Hold up. What's going on here? How are you trying to capture me? Hold up, y'all. My screen. I don't know if my screen's still working. Hold up. Hold up real quick, y'all. So how long have I been on here? I'm not sure, but I'm about to read a little bit more. Then I'll wrap it up so I can make these videos a bit shorter. Yeah, I definitely recognize that for many, just saying, hey, the Piso family made it. So, I'm just gonna throw it away, and um, hey, that's cool with me, long as you get rid of it. However, what I know that is very empowering is for you to know that when they tell you that, oh, Isaiah 7:14 is about him, or that, oh, Isaiah 53 is about him, and oh, this part of Psalms was about him, and Psalms 1:10 is, and you be able to show through the Tanakh that it's not about him. And for you to also be able to show what salvation actually is, like I shared on one of the videos, for you to show that, no, that's not salvation. Salvation is not deliverance from the guilt of sin. That's not salvation. Salvation is deliverance from your enemies. So for you to be able to show these pillars of Christianity, for you to be able to destroy them, so then they have nothing to stand on. So once you show, no, it wasn't this prophecy of the young woman that would give a child for a sign, when you are able to show what actually happened, and that she was not a virgin, and that a virgin woman cannot have a child. When you are able to show these things through the Tanakh, then you are empowered and you are equipped. Okay, not to just say, oh, the Piso family made it up, but to be able to say, no, it is not thus saith the Most High. And on that, I denounce it. And that is my personal witness, that on the account that ChristInsanity is not a result of thus saith the Most High, I denounce it. And in remembrance of my ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, and my ancestors who were raped and robbed and beat in the name of this sun god, I denounce ChristInsanity. Absolutely, Yakal Abad, absolutely, and that's why we're moving on. And the truth is not popular, okay? The truth is not popular. And it's all good, because like the Most High said, he chose our people, not because they were, the biggest in number nation of people, not because of anything that appeared to be something good, right? So my most important thing in this tonight is to illustrate to you that you have no fear, nothing to fear. Do not be afraid of people calling you an idiot. Do not be afraid of people calling you an antichrist. And do not be afraid of people telling you that, oh, you're going to go to hell for not believing in this. because that's the same thing that they got our ancestors with. What they won't get us with that. All praise to the Most High. So as y'all can see, Josephus did it up. Let me see, it didn't even upload on the screen yet. Let me bring this back. Cancel properties. Hold up. Yeah, I have to wrap this up because my computer, as expected, is doing the most. You know, and is what? Like, y'all getting errors? Getting errors. I'm getting errors over here. Let me know if y'all can hear me out there or not. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Before I continue, yeah, using to not to disprove that is the best method, because then you know what you know, you have understanding. So somebody come and tell you, oh, this is about the sun god, and you able to tell them, no, it's not. And it's that simple. So can y'all hear me? I got one person saying I can hear you. Screen is frozen. Can you hear? So let me know, y'all. Because if not, I'll wrap this up for today. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Is the video cleared up yet? Is the video moving? Okay. So we got another person that said, I hear. Okay. Right, Sue Spring said I can easily rattle off about 35 plus contradictions in the Gospels alone. Facebook, exactly. Yeah, it's not sending the video is weird, y'all. But all right, let me just finish reading this, then I'm gonna get off of here. You know, it's interesting that I see people on YouTube all the time doing nothing, talking about nothing, gossiping, you know what I'm saying, doing just nothing. And every single time that I get on here to go live, like I have the same computer I have for years that I've been using, and you know, it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy to me. And I've tried different softwares and different things, and I updated my computer, and I did all these different things, and I can feel that. Resistance, and I just want to encourage my people to continue to do the right thing, because you know how easy it is to do the wrong thing. You know how easy it is to go out here in this world and be nothing, and to do nothing, and to lust, and to lie, and to cope with this false reality. It's no resistance. There's no resistance out here if you want to do the wrong thing. But when you're doing what is right, there is a resistance. And I know that I know that this is calling out ancient lies and ancient spirits of deception. You understand? And I am not afraid. So if you have noticed that when you are doing things that are good, that there is a resistance, I'm going to tell you to keep going. Because if I stopped at being frustrated, then I wouldn't even get on here. Like, if this actually worked, then I probably would do this a lot more, But all praises to the Creator. I'm going to continue to figure things out. And I will not keep silent. All right? So whether I have to post a short or whether I have to do whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to give all praise to the Most High, because I'm not asking for it to be easy. My desire is that the Most High remains with me. Like King David said, don't take your ruach from me. Okay? So that is all that is a concern to me, is that the Most High is with me, no matter how difficult things get. All right, so I showed y'all, and I'm gonna wrap it up after this, because I hate when this be doing like it be doing the most. And I'm gonna figure this out. If that means getting an entirely different computer, then that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. So now we see where it said, I'm gonna wrap it up after this, that if all these books can be written in X, Y, and Z, then it wouldn't be enough room. Well, that's a lie, because you can't even furnish the evidence of this person even existing. Okay? And outside of these 4 God spells that you have, which are clearly forgeries of one another, all the God spells are forgeries of one another. Okay? Outside of that, you have nothing. So let's keep reading. Enough of the writings. Okay. It says, this is crazy, y'all. Don't let frustration ever get the best of you. Don't let frustration ever get the best of you. Like I said, if I was doing something not good, then it'd be no resistance. It's the things around to go drink and go be drunk and to go do all kind of wicked things is all the way out there. But when I get on here to tell my people to denounce ChristInsanity, my computer want to act up, the iPad don't want to work, the camera don't want to work, the internet don't want to work, it don't want to send video, it don't want to load. And I'm telling you, I don't even know if you can hear me, but recognize that Do not let frustration get the best of you. What you have been chosen to do is not the popular thing, but what matters the most is that the Most High is with you, and that He is your rock, and that beside Him there is no one. So that goes to everybody that's in here that's sincere, that do not give up. Do not give up on the work that the Creator has assigned for you to do in this time. And these are the facts. So, let me see. So it says here, enough of the writings of the authors named in the foregoing list remains to form a library, yet in this mass of Jewish and pagan literature, aside from 2 forged passages in the work of a Jewish author and 2 disputed passages, so two forged passages and 2 disputed passages in the works of Roman writers, there's to be found no mentions of JC. There's to be found no mentions of JC. Out of all of these people that's writing at this time, okay, look at this. Okay, it says Philo was born before the beginning of the Christian era and lived until long after the reputed death of Christ. He wrote an account of the Jews covering the entire time that Christ is said to have existed on earth. He was living in or near Jerusalem when Christ's miraculous birth and the Herodian massacre occurred. He was there when Christ made his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. He was there when all these things supposedly happened. These marvelous events, which must have filled the world with amazement had they really occurred, were unknown to him. It was Philo who developed the doctrine of the Logos, or word, and although this word incarnate dwelt in that very land, in the presence of multitudes revealed himself and demonstrated his divine powers, Philo saw it not. But what about this thing that's about, oh, if all the books can be written, then there wouldn't be enough room? That's a lie. It's false. All of this is false. Josephus, now let's get to this. A lot of Hebrew Israelites, a lot of other Christians, no matter what they call themselves, will try to go to the book of Josephus, which has been shown as a clear forgery. Let's continue reading. Josephus, the renowned Jewish historian, was a native of Judea. He was born in 37 AD. And a contemporary of the apostle. He was for a time governor of Galilee, the province in which Christ lived and taught. He traversed every part of this province and visited the places where but a generation before Christ had performed his prodigies. Okay, let's see. He mentions every noted personage of Palestine. Palestine describes every important event which occurred there during the first 70 years of the Christian era, but Christ was of too little consequence and his deeds too trivial to merit a line from this historian's pen. Okay? So this is showing you that people already knew that this was a deception. This is a part of a worldwide deception. They been knew this was a deception when they was deceiving from the beginning. And like I posed this question, and not a question really, it's a statement that you cannot tell me that it was Hebrew Israelites, that Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John were Hebrew Israelites, okay, and that they were sharing the God spell, or as these Hebrew roots people say, the Besorah. You could not tell me that they were sharing the God spell with their own people. and then going out and sharing this. So how did the Israelites end up in captivity if the Christ figure was supposedly the one who paid the price for sin? There is no way that that could have happened, because they say that in this false book, in which we will go, let me go there. Let's go there real quick. Okay, in this false book, this false forged testament, it is said that, and you shall know the truth in John 8:32, and the truth shall make you free. So if you're telling me that these were Hebrew Israelites that were spreading the gospel to their own people, how did this, if this were the truth, but it is not, how did they, having the knowledge of this, become in bondage? How did our ancestors 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago, 100 years ago, how did our ancestors a century ago believe in this, yet they were not free? How did our ancestors pray, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, how did they pray and believe in this and not be free? But y'all say that this is the way, the truth, and the life. But what I'm telling you is that Christ is the way to deception, the way to oppression, that Christ is the way to bondage, that Christ is the true false Messiah, that Christ is the true deceiver, and that Christ does not save lives. Christ takes lives, destroys lives. And these are the facts. So continuing, if this was the truth, why my people ain't free? Because the Hebrew Christians will say, oh, they was calling on the wrong name. So you mean to tell me they was just calling on the wrong name and they didn't say Yahusha or Yeshua or Yahawashai or Yeshaya? So you mean to tell me just because they had the wrong name, that the Creator, who was merciful and compassionate and the judge of all, that the Creator wouldn't have had compassion? They was calling on what they was taught the truth was. They was calling on what they was taught the way was. They was calling on the one that they thought they had everlasting life in. But like we read in the Song of Moses, and I will put that on the screen. Let us go there to the Song of Moses. First, matter of fact, first I'm going to do Isaiah 45 and 21. 45 and 20. Isaiah 45 and 20 clearly illustrates the point. Assemble yourselves and come, draw near together, you have escaped from the nations. They have no knowledge who carry the wood of their carved image and pray to a God that cannot save. So you cannot tell me that my ancestors, and I'm going to make it personal, you cannot tell me that my ancestors had the way, the truth, and the life, and they were chattel slave. They were in chattel slavery. You cannot tell me that my ancestors had the way, the truth, and the life, and that they loved the way, the truth, and the life, and that they were in bondage, that they were in the worst form of slavery ever known to any nation of people. You cannot tell me that your sun God paid the price for the sins of my ancestors who are still being punished for their sins. You cannot tell me these lies anymore. And I'm not afraid. And I am going to continue to be vocal about it. And I'm going to figure out how to get this computer working if I got to get another computer. And I'm going to bring out these receipts. And I'm going to bring out these facts. And I'm going to continue to use it to knock, to assassinate the entire Christ Son God myth. And I will not keep silent until my people rise and until their righteousness goes forth as the noonday, and that all people will see my people and those who love the Most High and recognize that the Most High is with us, and that we are no longer termed forsaken, but that we are beautiful and our land married. So I don't care about the YouTube comments that I get all day saying that I'm an idiot and all the different things and the most belittling things that people can say. These Christians can say that they will say it. And in the same breath, these lying heathens will tell you that they just want you to be saved so that you don't go to hell. Well, let me tell you something. This is hell. This is one hell of a lie that has been going on for a long time. And as sure as the Most High is the strength of my life, and as sure as I wake up every day to give thanks to His name, I will spend the rest of my life denouncing this foolishness called ChristInsanity. I've already lost the people who claim to be brothers. I've already lost the people who claim to be friends. And when I think of the peace and the clarity that I have gained, I haven't lost anything. Because the Most High is my shepherd, and I do not lack any good thing. So I do give thanks for my brothers and sisters who have come about the woodworks and who are making themselves known, who aren't afraid to leave comments, and who aren't afraid to, dialogue, who have not been afraid to join the community, who have not been afraid to make themselves known that they too have denounced ChristInsanity, that they too have received the courage and the strength from the Almighty, who alone is the Creator, to denounce the idolatry, to denounce the delusion, and to denounce the dysfunction. So what I would tell you all is, do not let the reverse psychology work on you. The same thing that these Christ followers say to you, that, oh, you don't understand and you don't get it. No, they don't understand and they don't get it. And if I could show you the countless comments that I receive on the daily about these Christ followers, these fanatic people, these imbalanced people, these delusional people, if I could show you how many times that they leave comments saying, oh, I pray that you understand. Yet these same people would never pray that they understand. They would not pray that their eyes are open. But these Christ followers will continue to pray that we return to the lie. But let me tell you something about the goodness of the Most High, that even divination won't work against the sons of Jacob, who walk upright before the Creator of the heavens and the earth. So we giving all praises to the Most High and to the Most High alone. And we're not afraid, and we are not apologizing, and we are not concerned with views, and we are not concerned with the negative remarks, because the Most High will bless those who bless us, and He will curse those who curse us. And that is a guarantee. So as I was reading here, Isaiah 45:20, Christ is not the way and the truth, and He is not the life. Christ is a God that cannot save, and there is no way Christ can be the truth that makes anyone free. When my ancestors believed in Christ, they prayed to Christ, they gave their last dollar for Christ, they gave their last meal for Christ, and many of them gave their life for Christ, and they were not given freedom. It's time to wake up and return to the Most High only, the Almighty, who is our only power and our only rock. Let me read a little bit more of this here, and we can continue reading tomorrow. If you'd like to join, I'll be here. I'll figure out some more stuff with the computer, and we'll figure it out. I'm gonna read this last part about Josephus. Of course, there's more to it than this. I'm just read this, and then we're gonna move on. Late in the first century, Josephus wrote his celebrated work, The Antiquities of the Jews, giving a history of his race from the earliest ages down to his own time. Modern versions of this work contain the following passage. Now there was about this time a wise man, if it be lawful to call him a man, for he was a doer of wonderful works, a teacher of such men as received the truth with pleasure. He drew over to him both many of the Jews and many of the Gentiles. He was the Christ, and when Pilate, at the suggestion of the principal men amongst them, had condemned him to the cross, those that loved him at the first did not forsake him, for he appeared to them alive again the third day. Okay, you get the point. So there's a reference here in Josephus. So let's keep going. It says, for nearly 1,600 years, Christians have been citing this passage as a testimonial, not merely to the historical existence, but to the divine character of JC. And yet, a ranker forgery was never penned. So you can look a lot of different places and a lot of different sources, and it will tell you that these places in Josephus are in fact forgeries. It's in the language, and it's in the way that Josephus is supposedly writing these things, that it is a clear forgery. And many people who call themselves biblical scholars know that very clearly. Okay, so outside of these forged writings, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which are all forged, okay, ChristInsanity has nothing to stand on. So we've already exposed it. We've already exposed that every single place they say Christ fulfilled, it is not about Christ. And a lot of times it has nothing to even do with the made up story. And even we know that in Exodus 4:22 that the Most High says, Israel is my son, my firstborn. And they would never tell you this because Christ is the replacement religion. It's to replace the true sons of the Most High, which are the children of Israel. Okay? Then say to Pharaoh, this is what the Most High says, Israel is my firstborn son. Okay? That's what it says. Give me a second. Let me put up a different one. Okay. Let's see this on the screen again. Okay. This is what the Most High says. This is what the Most High says. Israel is my firstborn son. What's his son's name? What's his name? His son's name is Israel. Israel. Right. The whole Josephus thing is questionable. It's all questionable. It's all fiction to me from what I see. Okay, it's all a deception. They are confederate against us, Psalms 83. Okay? So we see that they're, all right, we are the sons of the Most High and not Christ. Christ is a replacement God, a replacement religion, a replacement theology to replace the true people of the Most High and to prevent them from returning to their power, prevent us from returning to our power, which is the Most High. And beside the Most High, the only creator of the heavens and the earth, there is no one. So I'm going to figure this out. We're going to get this running smoothly. And that's just what it is, okay? So I'm about to wrap this up about the Josephus situation. His language is Christian. So this is what they're saying about the Josephus writings. Let's pull this up on the screen. He's going so it's about the writings of Josephus. Language is Christian. This is a Christian person writing this. It's not even how a so-called person that is a Jew will even write about this situation. His language is Christian. Every line proclaims is the work of a Christian writer. If it be lawful to call him a man, he was the Christ. He appeared to them alive again the third day, as the divine prophets have foretold these and all this. These are the words of a Christian. A believer in the divinity of Christ. Josephus was a Jew, a devout believer in the Jewish faith, the last man in the world to acknowledge the divinity of Christ. The inconsistency of this evidence was early recognized, and Ambrose, writing in the generation succeeding his first appearance, 360 AD, offers the following explanation, which only a theologian could frame. If the Jews do not believe us, let them at least believe their own writers. Josephus, whom they esteem a very great man, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. So this is first appearance in 360 AD. This is well after the deception has already taken its place and taken its course in the earth. Okay, well after the temple was destroyed. Well after. Well after. Okay? Give me a second. So I'm basically showing you tonight and it was at work enough. They are not healing people. They are not healing people or 3 billion people in the world. Christianity is a religion of over 3 billion people. There are probably more Christians in the world than sick people. And probably most of those sick people are a part of that religion. So there would be no sick people in Christianity if it was real. That's the whole point. Because they will, somebody, their pastor, their deacon, somebody will be laying hands on the sick and they will be recovering. And if the whole, not if, the forged book says that you should know the truth and the truth shall make you free. Yet these people know this to be their salvation, yet they are not free. Exactly. It's not a game. It's really not a game. So I'm gonna wrap this up because it does say that it's freezing, and I'll be honest, it does get frustrating. Only with the computer and stuff, like, because I got all kind of live streams on here, you know, that I had many programs running, many things going. I'll be back to talk about the just how that for bring some everything out. I did take notes to just that you put in there. I appreciate you all for that. Okay, so all this to create that and here. Giving all praise to the creator of the heavens and the earth. I don't know why this is doing that. That's ridiculous. And yes, all praises to the Most High, y'all. Like I said, I'm gonna figure it out. Can y'all hear me now? Mic check 1 2. Can y'all hear me now? I'll just end with all praise to the creator of the heavens and the earth. And I said this many times tonight, but do not be afraid of the things that people say. Trust in the Most High alone, and He will never let you down. I will be back, and I will continue to share these things with you. I will revisit this video to see if it was too choppy or something, because I'll do it all over. All right. All praises to the Most High. There is none greater. I appreciate everybody who has contributed to the space, people who have shared in the community, in the comment section. And I encourage you to continue to read the Tanakh. And as you read the Tanakh, you will continue to see that the forged letters of the New Testament are completely false, and that the Son God, Christ, is the biggest deception the world has ever witnessed. And with that being said, all praises to the creator of the heavens and the earth for enlightening our eyes to see past the deception and to return to Him and to Him only. Shalom to those who walk in integrity and who wake up each and every day and do what is right in the sight of the Most High. And destruction and complete annihilation to every enemy of the Most High and His people. This is your brother Prince David, reminding you that there will never be anyone greater than the Creator that is within you. Hear, O Yisrael, the Most High, your Almighty, our Most High, He is one. All praises to the Creator of the heavens and the earth, and to the Creator of the heavens and earth only. No sun gods, no false messiahs, no false saviors. All praises to the Most High forever. Until next time, Shalom, Shalom.